Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Vallen, and this is Roots. Today, we're going to be covering a little bit more on some of the basic rituals. I look forward to demonstrating a lot more of this mod as it goes through development. It is currently in its early stages, so keep in mind that some of these rituals may change, and they may improve or even disappear, and new ones might come in. But for now, we're just going to cover a few of the basics. So to start with, you should cordon off a specific area. It's a 13 by 13 square. This kind of gives you a basic idea here. Now, it's going to be for the entire end result. You'll just be starting off with a casting altar and some incense braziers to start off with. As you progress, you'll need further and further space in order to cast your different rituals. So the first one here, of course, we've already covered the basic rituals and the living tools, as you saw in a previous video, but we're going to go over the growth ritual, which, if you notice, everything kind of goes in order here. As you progress, then it gets to standing stones, and it goes left to right, animal reanimation, and so on, and then it continues down here until you get to enhanced standing stones. You continue on, and then it goes energized stones. The reason being is that this is your progression. You can make everything that's before this, and then once you get to the standing stones here, you can then make everything after that up to the point of the enhanced standing stones, and then you can make these up till the energized stones, and so on. So we're going to start off with this growth ritual here, and you don't have to have a living hoe or anything. I just happen to have one because I think they're really cool. Now, I have some seeds here that I planted. As you can see, there are several items that you'll need to start with, but they're all very mundane. Wheat, beetroot, potato, and carrots. These are going to be the things that you're burning in your braziers. And now, the other things are going to be, your redstone, bone meal, and verdant sprigs. Now, I have a whole lot of these. You don't have to have a whole lot of these. And the effects of this do not stack, so you can't just keep casting it over and over again on yourself until you've used up your initial use. So, it's always going to cost you 1 wheat, 1 beetroot, 1 potato, and 1 carrot. Now, if you look in your runic tablet, and you actually look at the growth ritual, it explains what it does. But if you notice this little flame symbol, that represents the items that you're going to be needing to burn in your incense burners or your braziers. So the other items are going to be up here, need to go in the altar. So remember, your altar can only ever hold 3 items. And of course, you need 4 braziers. Now, this here is your generic setup, the grid, the 13 by 13 grid. It has nothing highlighted on there. It's all just dark. The reason for that is you don't have to have them in any specific order. You just have to have an altar, and you have to have these incense braziers nearby. And you are just fine. Now, I, of course, set them up so that they just look kind of pretty with this, because I kind of liked where they were there, and they aren't too close to this thing to make it annoying. Now, let me get this going. Just one of each of these, and you don't want to start it yet, because you need to actually light things on fire, and you will need an empty hand when you're done. Now, whoops, don't worry, you have plenty of time to get these things burning. They burn for like maybe a full minute or something. So with all those going, you should be all right to go. Then shift, right click, and you start the ritual. And what this does is it kind of sprays you with magical bone meal, more or less, and you become the tool. And now when I right click, I cause a bone meal effect, and it's about, I think it's 17 uses before it expires, and it should stick with you as long as you're logged in or something. And so I could use it right here on the grass, and it works just fine. You can use it on the ground, on seeds, and so on, and it's really, really cool. Once you're done with it, it's expired, and if you've used it up and your items are still burning in your incense braziers, then you can still toss on some more ingredients, shift click again, and take advantage of it. So if you're all prepared for it, then you should be good to take full advantage of not having to use a single wheat, beetroot, potato, and carrot again, though you could easily regrow them with your initial bone meal effects. So it's really good. 17 bone meal effects, at the cost of one of each of everything on my hotbar and the use of one flint and steel 4 times. So it's really good, really good. I don't think it's very overpowered or anything. It doesn't require you to have a special tool, more things cluttering up your inventory, because it just bestows it upon you, and that's really, really nice. So let's look at the next one. Next up, we have the mundane standing stone. Now, this here is simply made with, some stone bricks and some plain stone, just all surrounding a lapis block. You think, well, that's not that bad. It's just 9 lapis. Well, that's where you might be a little bit wrong. You're going to need 8 of these. So you're going to need at least 8 lapis blocks. And of course, the stone is easy enough to come by, so that this might slow your progression down a little bit, but that's understandable because you can do some pretty cool stuff. And with that in mind, the standing stones, if you are to use them in one of the following rituals, it will actually show up around here, saying that the altar is in the center and that you'll need to have them surrounding it as so. Now, with this next ritual we're doing, animal reanimation, it's not necessarily going to be productive, but let's say that you had an animal and you want to bring it back. You feasibly could. You can summon pigs, cows, sheep, chickens, rabbits, and so on. And it's pretty basic stuff. I'm just going to show you how to summon a pig in this case, though. To start with, I will only need to use 2 of these. 1 seed, 1 netherwort, and then in the altar here, we'll need 2 pork chops and a bone. And then you just light these up, 1 and 2. Then you just shift-click with an open hand on the altar, and it will summon forth a pig in this case. Now, of course, you can summon, as I said, cows and sheep and chickens and things like that if you so desire, but you will need the makeup of those creatures first in order to do so. So there we go. We reanimated a dead pig from his lost pork chops and a skeleton bone. Pretty cool. So this next one is a lot more interesting. I'm sure that you remember before I did a whole lot on spellcraft. Now, the rituals, there is a way to enhance that even further with the crystal staff. You can basically make a single staff that can store 4 different staves in it, and you get infinite uses. It's really, really powerful, but it will have some drawbacks. Now, of course, there is a recipe here that I will show you, and there is a way that you need to infuse it with the new method. So first, I will show you how to make the staff itself. Of course, a diamond block, a stick, some blaze powder, and then your incense is going to be a block of coal, acacia bark, birch bark, and a verdant sprig. Oops. There we go. And then you light those up as you normally would, and then shift right click on the altar, and it should produce you with the crystal staff, which, once again, very powerful artifact. It doesn't have a durability. It will still function in the same way as the other staves that you have used in the past. Now, currently, I have nothing in it. I am shift right clicking and nothing happens, and that is how you cycle through the different staves. Now, to empower it, you're going to need to put it plus a little bit of verdant sprig. There we go. I'll just grab one of these. So as you can see here, I have 4 different items that I'm going to infuse it with. Petal dust of insanity, rending strike, earth spike, and blistering cold. Now, of course, you put the the verdant sprig here in there with the crystal staff. And if these are burning for some reason, let's light these up. And you need to put them out. Don't forget, all you need to do is just shift right click and you'll put it out, and the item gets used up that's in there. So it's not that bad. You don't need a bucket of water or anything like that. And what you're going to need to do is take the petal dust that you have, and you're going to actually have to sacrifice them by burning them. And that's how you infuse the crystal staff with these 4 different staves. Now, if you take this crystal staff and perform this ceremony again with different petal dusts, you will overwrite the existing ones in it. So keep that in mind. You can change it up and reuse this staff with other spells, but it's not going to just add more. Now, I'm going to light this up. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then of course shift right click on the altar, and it's going to draw the energy from this stuff. It's pretty cool. I do like the little particle effects that you get from it. It's nothing too fancy. It's fancy enough for my taste. And then you get your crystal staff. Now you notice it's red and black like the Staff of Insanity. So if I shift right click, I can cycle through the 4 different types that are on here and use them as I see fit. Then I just, use it as I did before, which is really, really cool. Really, really cool. Now, keep in mind that if you are not standing on a natural surface, for instance, grass or logs or trees or something like that, then you will possibly take some health damage, usually in the form of about a half a heart every time that you use one of the staff abilities. So it does have its limitation in that aspect, but otherwise it works out just fine. So let's go on over here, and I will land, and I will, let's see, make it this one, and we'll bring in some spider buddies here because it's daytime, and they don't burn in the daytime. So let's first cast this spell on each other, and then I'm going to cycle to the ice one, and now they're leaving ice trails. I can then cast the damaging spell, and I still have the earth spike spell as well that I can cast, though it's not working in this case because I've just got some weird things going on. But you get the idea that that's pretty much how it works. It's really cool. Works really nice. It's of course, this mod is still in progress as well. There's lots more to come. Lots and lots more to come. And some of these things and mechanics may change. So that's about it for today. I know that there wasn't very much, but there will be plenty more to come in the future. So if you like this video, make sure to give a thumbs up and or subscribe. And if you think it's worthy or others might enjoy this video, please feel free to spread the mischief. And until next time, folks, I'll see ya.